Alrighty guys, and welcome back to Star Wars Review. Today is the weekly Star Wars recap for August 11th, 2025. Which it's been 4 months since I last really uploaded anything. And 4 months since the last weekly Star Wars recap. So yeah, I kind of just unintentionally took a long break. So I'm hoping to get back into it. Really the past couple weeks I've recorded weekly Star Wars recaps, but then just didn't edit them, so there's gonna be some stuff I already have I recorded actually like weeks ago, but I'll just plop in here. But right now there is one bigger, more recent news story to talk about, which is casting for the film Star Wars Starfighter. But obviously new releases, I'm not gonna go through all of them. What came out since the last time. Obviously there was like Andor season 2, bunch of novels and comics, the rest of the High Republic and whatnot, which I will be hoping to get reviews out definitely for Andor season 2. But the stuff that came out last week, there was Sanctuary, a Bad Batch novel, which I haven't gotten yet, but I am excited to read that one, as I really loved the Bad Batch. But then Legacy of Vader issue 7, which I also haven't read. I'm behind on the new comics, so I will also be trying to catch up on those. But coming out this week is Jedi Knights issue 6 on August 13th, 2025. But let's jump into the news, which, like I said, there was some casting news for Star Wars Starfighter, which Deadline was reporting that actor Matt Smith has joined the cast of the movie, joining Ryan Gosling and Mia Goth, who was cast a few months ago, which I also missed that. But it seems like Smith will be playing the villain in the movie, which it seemed like Goth was also playing a villain character, so I don't know, maybe they're working together, but it seems like Smith might be the main one. But Smith is probably most well known for Doctor Who, which I've never watched, so can't really talk about that. In fact, I don't even think I've actually watched anything he's been in. More recently, he was in the Game of Thrones spinoff House of the Dragon, which I've also never seen. He also was in Morbius, which I've only seen the scene of him dancing, and there's a song playing where the lyrics are just "have sex." So, yeah, I can't really talk about him as an actor because I just actually have not seen anything he's been in. But this is also not the first time he was cast in a Star Wars film, as he was supposed to appear in The Rise of Skywalker, which, based on rumors, he was maybe going to play a young Palpatine, but then that kind of got cut from the movie, obviously, before they even really started filming, I think, because I don't even think he actually ended up filming anything. But this new role he'll play in Starfighter seems to be completely unrelated to that. But Starfighter will be directed by Sean Levy, with Jonathan Tropper writing the script. And it seems like the movie is gearing up to shoot this fall, with a release date of May 28th, 2027. So it's actually looking pretty good that we'll have a new original Star Wars film. Obviously next year we'll have The Mandalorian and Grogu, but that's a continuation of the Disney Plus series, and also they just kind of reworked a 4th season into a film, so a bit different. But yeah, obviously when there's more news for Starfighter, I'll talk about it then. But Starfighter will release in 2027, which that year will also be the 50th anniversary of the series itself, as the original film Star Wars, later retitled A New Hope, will turn 50. And obviously Lucasfilm will have a bunch of anniversary celebration stuff, with obviously Starfighter releasing. The next celebration will happen that year. But they also announced that A New Hope will return to theaters on April 30th, 2027, which, recently, for most of the anniversaries of the Star Wars films, they've re-released them. Like earlier this year for the 20th anniversary of Revenge of the Sith, they re-released that, along with Phantom Menace and Return of the Jedi and Empire Strikes Back over the past several years. So it was obvious they were going to re-release A New Hope. Obviously, they're announcing this a little under 2 years beforehand, so I do wonder if they're going to be a bigger push onto it, a lot more marketing and a lot wider of a re-release, as all the other ones were kind of just announced a couple months beforehand. So I don't know, it would be cool if they would include like IMAX in the re-release, but honestly I doubt that, because I guess it would depend on what new releases are coming out around then. Also don't know if it'll be the original theatrical cut or the special editions. They did recently do a screening at a film, I forget if it was a film festival or something else in London, I think, of the theatrical cut or edition, but I don't know if they'll actually be able to do a more wide release of that, so I'm going to assume it'll be the special edition, but still exciting no matter what to have it re-released. But moving on to some publishing news. A couple weeks ago, San Diego Comic-Con 2025 happened, and there was a couple new comic and novel reveals. The biggest one being a new tie-in novel for the video game Star Wars Outlaws, titled Outlaws Low Red Moon, which will be written by Mike Chen, who wrote the 2022 Star Wars novel Brotherhood, which the novel will follow ND5 and Jalen Vrax before the events of the game, which I guess the novel will be kind of split into 2 parts. The first part taking place in 19 BBY, and then the second part taking place in 10 BBY, which there was a description which says, ND5 and Jalen Vrax embark on their descent into the galaxy's underworld in search of answers and opportunity. In this essential prequel, The Star Wars Outlaws, Jalen Barsha, heir to his family's immense power and wealth, had his life charted out for him neatly and meticulously by his parents. Even though he suspected his neglected half-brother Slero would be a better fit for the bright corporate future his parents envisioned, then the Empire stripped it all away on trumped-up charges of conspiracy against his family. Before he can reach Slero for help redeeming the Barsha name, a battle droid arrives at the family compound with a mission: to kill every single last member of the Barsha clan. Jalen manages to fend off the attack as the sole survivor, but realizes the droid, who he reprograms, is the only chance to stay alive. But he can no longer be Jalen Barsha. Will have to live now as Jalen Vrax. Former Separatist battle droid ND5 knows he should be scrap metal, all things considered. He was a proficient contributor to the Separatist cause. But what is a soldier without a war? A trigger without aim. Loyalty is in his programming, and Jalen, who treats him as more than just a weapon, has earned it. Perhaps, the droid thinks, with a partner, he can be more. ND5 just has to earn Jalen's trust. With the threat against the Barsha clan still shrouded in mystery, the pair has no choice but to leverage the chaos and disappear. They find sanctuary in the anonymity of the underworld, building their reputation among scoundrels, bounty hunters, and crime syndicates. But when their latest score gives the first real clue in years to who sent ND5 after Jalen's family, their biggest opportunity presents a new kind of risk. Do they give up this chance at the wealth and power Jalen was denied to pursue answers? Or will ambition and the weight of the past shatter their unlikely partnership? So yeah, another oddly timed tie-in novel, like the recent Acolyte tie-in novels, coming out a whole year after that show aired and then was canceled. This is coming almost a year and a half after the game released, which also recently there was reports saying that Ubisoft kind of won't be moving forward with a sequel to the game after the game underperformed. So just quite a few weirdly timed tie-ins, which, to be honest, this is one I'm not really that excited for. I liked ND5 in the game, but Jalen Vrax, I just didn't really care for that much. And, we already kind of know where this is going because we know Slero was involved in all of that stuff. So, yeah, not super duper excited for this one. But, they did also reveal the titles for the next 2 Reign of the Empire novels, which the first one came out earlier this year, titled The Mask of Fear, which the second one, which will come out in spring of 2026, will be titled Edge of the Abyss, written by Rebecca Roanhorse, and then the third one will be called From the Ashes, written by Fran Wild, and that will release summer 2027, so a bit of a wait for that one. But to move into some comic stuff, Dark Horse did reveal that they will be releasing another Bad Batch miniseries titled Hyperspace Stories: The Bad Batch Rogue Agents, which the first issue will come out in December, written by Michael Morrissey, who wrote the other one that came out this year also. But it seems like it'll follow the Batch during the Clone Wars once again. But then some reference books, they announced that we will finally be getting a visual guide for The Mandalorian covering the 3 seasons of the series. And it will be written by Pablo Hidalgo and released April 28th, 2026. So about a month before The Mandalorian and Grogu movie releases. Which I do wonder if we'll get any more publishing tie-ins for that movie. Obviously, we'll have to wait and see. But there was supposed to be a visual guide for The Mandalorian released years ago, which was going to cover the first 2 seasons. But then, along with a bunch of other publishing stuff that what was announced for The Mandalorian, just all got canceled. But it is nice to finally be getting this. I do wonder if we'll learn any new names, because obviously there's like a couple characters and species and whatnot that were introduced that just didn't have a name or anything, or planets that didn't have a name. So definitely interested to see if stuff gets named and whatnot. But yeah, that was really all the bigger announcements at San Diego Comic-Con for publishing. But there were also the October 2025 Star Wars comics revealed, which this month will include the second issues of 2 miniseries, Boba Fett Black, White, and Red, and Han Solo Hunt for the Falcon, which were both announced during my absence I had, which the Boba Fett one will be like the other Black, White, and Red series. Or the Han Solo one will kind of be set sometime before The Force Awakens, where Han and Chewie will be kind of looking for the Falcon, as the name says. But to just dive into these October ones, like I said, there's Han Solo Hunt for the Falcon issue 2, which will be written by Rodney Barnes with art by Raymond Rosanis, and will come out October 8th, 2025, which the description says, "Hot on the trail of the Falcon. Han Solo and Chewbacca continue their search for the Falcon and face raptor droids along the way. Duquesne is in for a beating when Han and Chewie find him. And how are the Irving boys wrapped up in this intergalactic chase?" And then Boba Fett Black, White, and Red issue 2, which will be written by Saladin Ahmed with art by Raymond Rosanis, which comes out October 29th, 2025, which the description says, "Time to pay the piper. Samu is a down-on-his-luck criminal always running from his problems. But he can't outrun Boba Fett. Witness one of the greatest bounty hunters in the galaxy stalk his prey, and blast a few Sleemos while he's at it. Will the galaxy's most notorious hunter capture one of his sneakiest bounties yet?" And then Star Wars issue 6, written by Alex Segura with art by Phil Noto, which will come out October 1st, 2025, which the description says, "New Republic on the brink of war. Luke, Han, and Valance face off against a swarm of Clone Wars-era threats. Princess Leia plays the only card she has left against a mounting threat. Rin Zanat discovers a clue that sheds light on the struggles of the mysterious Nagi. Then Dr. Afro Chaos Agent Issue 5, written by Cheris Chen with art by Stephen Cummings, which will come out October 29th, 2025, which the description says, "Who sliced the slicer?" To avoid prison, Dr. Afro became an agent of the New Republic, but to keep her in line during her parole, they had her electro tattoos locked. But who could do that to the galaxy's greatest slicer? The answer will shock you. And then Legacy of Vader Issue 9, written by Charles Soule with art by Stefano Raphael, which comes out October 15th, 2025, which the description says, Kylo Ren versus Tava Ren. Tava Ren begins her attempt to overthrow Kylo Ren as leader. Will Kylo Ren be able to withstand the onslaught from this enigmatic new foe? And then Jedi Knights Issue 8, written by Mark Guggenheim with art by Madabek Musabakov, which comes out October 22nd, 2025, which the description says, the most unusual issue yet. Meet Sunataj, a young girl who is strong with the Force, who's in great danger, kidnapped by a group of pirates. This unique story is told through Suna's own eyes, allowing you to experience the Force through the eyes of a youngling. Guest starring fan favorite Jedi, Kelleran Beck. But finally, it's been 4 months since I did the last weekly Stars recap, so I'm just going to kind of recap a couple quick news things. Andor Season 2 obviously was released and then nominated for several Emmys, including Best Drama Series, but was snubbed on the acting front. There was also a report that Carlton Cuse and his son Nick are developing a new Star Wars series, which Carlton Cuse was a co-showrunner on Lost and has since done several other TV shows. There was also a new Finn and Janna novel announced titled The Last Order, which was revealed to be set after The Rise of Skywalker. Obviously, Star Wars Celebration 2025 happened, which I covered that in separate videos, back when that happened. Also, the DLC for Indiana Jones and the Great Circle, titled The Order of Giants, was revealed with a September 4th, 2025 release date, which is rather soon. So yeah, and I think that was actually it on my quick rundown. So that's going to be it for this week's weekly Star Wars recap, or month, every once in a blue moon Star Wars recap. Yeah, like I said, hoping to get back into doing things. I do have several videos I recorded probably months ago now, and I haven't gone around to editing, so mainly some High Republic reviews, so I'll probably get those out. And obviously Andor Season 2, I need to get those reviews out, and just a bunch of other stuff. So yeah, but that's going to be it for this one. I've been Star Wars Review, and I'll catch you guys in the next one.
Win. It's a different kind of mission. If it goes up in flames, it will burn very brightly.
But if I'm giving up everything,